started, feel free to continue to drink and get our hors d'oeuvres. We're happy you're all here today. So good evening and welcome to our Danish Festival presentation. This is kind of our kickoff for showcasing our property and what we hope to do with it. My name is Andrea Krause. I should say that first. I am the president of the Danish Festival Board of Directors. I just want to acknowledge the directors that are here tonight. First of all, we have, let me get my glasses off so I can see, Christine Cousineau, who's in the back. She's our vice president and director of downtown. Ashley Van Slotten here is our new treasurer. Very happy to have her on. Jennifer Eiteen is our DF1 Veterans Park director. Jesper Deneen is up here. He's our fundraising director. Melody Teagarden is right there at the middle table. She is in charge of our Queen and Queen's Court and all the Queen activities. We also have Bob Ferrantino, Tivoli Garden. You're going to be hearing from him in a minute, and a letter of credit at our main stage entertainment director. You'll also be hearing from him in a minute. And of course, another one to read out. Jim Barris is our city council liaison. Very happy to have him on board. He's and of course, our wonderful executive director, Kristen Vivian. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Bob and Leonard, and they are going to give you the presentation. We hope you enjoy it. We are so excited about this property, and we hope you will be too. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, Andrea. I'm sorry to stop all the conversation. It sounded pretty active in here. This is good. Welcome, and thanks for coming tonight. Where am I? There we are. Our plan to develop Tivoli Square. You might be starting to think already, well, what the heck is Tivoli Square? Or what is Tivoli Gardens? I've always asked that question every year. What really is Tivoli Gardens? Well, right here on the front slide here, we have a picture of the Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen. Now, it's kind of ornate, to say the least, but nonetheless, Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen is the third oldest amusement park in the entire world. Started in 1843. Now, it certainly is an amusement park. Think about Cedar Point or wherever, but it's an amusement park, but it's a lot more than that because there's an aquarium at Tivoli Gardens. There's a concert hall. There are numerous restaurants, numerous gardens throughout the property, a theater for live theater performances. There is live music 365 per year, every single day. There are beautiful fountains throughout the grounds. Now, I don't have a travel log to share with you about Tivoli Gardens, but it's real, it's huge, and it is a showplace in Copenhagen, to say the least. Jesper, would you please?
Absolutely. It's the one place to visit, absolutely.
It is consistently one of the top attractions in Denmark, drawing hundreds of thousands of people from around the world. So, when I first got involved with Danish Festival 8 years ago, I never knew what Tivoli Gardens was, except it's a beer tent and we have a lot of fun. It's real. And our goals stem from the ideas found in Copenhagen. So, what are we going to talk about tonight a little bit? We want to talk briefly about history, where we've been, where we are now. Not a long history lesson. More importantly, where are we going? What's the vision? What will you see in the future? Where do we need some help achieving that vision, make it a reality? And the idea of there are naming opportunities, there are recognition opportunities. We're not being shy to say this is a community investment that we're looking to make for the next year or two as we move ahead within our boundaries of what we want to do on that corner. So the contents, that's what we're going to do tonight. Let's talk a little bit about history. It was 1964. There were a group of business people in the Greenville area who wanted to expand business opportunities, draw people from different communities around Greenville. Sound familiar? We're still doing that today. But in 1964, a group of these business people started, let's have a contest. Let's figure out ways to draw tourists, business to Greenville. So they had a contest, they offered a cash prize, and Mrs. Dorothy Oliver was the winner who suggested that there be a festival honoring and celebrating Danish heritage. People like that. That sounded pretty cool. Let's do that. And in 1965, August of 1965, the first Danish festival was held. It was a one-day thing, just a quick, nice Saturday where they celebrated the Danish heritage found in the community, celebrated the idea that we're going to look ahead and celebrate all things Danish in the future. So, the early days, a brief celebration of Danish heritage. Today, over the course of 58 years later, as we've looked and seen what's happened over those 58 years, the mission of the Danish festival remains the same. And the idea becomes celebrating family and friends, celebrating Danish heritage. Certainly that part of our mission is still alive and well. But I'll tell you, the scope, the impact of the festival has changed dramatically from that humble one-day beginnings. Today, the economic impact can be measured in tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Over 100 different vendors every year coming to town, drawing tens of thousands of people to town over the 4-day festival. There's an active board of directors who take part in managing the affairs of the festival, moving it ahead. You'll see some of our ideas as about a vision in a little bit. But the festival annually provides a significant economic impact to Greenville and the surrounding communities. We know that, we all see that, but it's good to remind ourselves this is something that's been active for 58 years, and we want it active for another 58 years as we move ahead. So what the heck is Tivoli Square? Right now it's the vacant lot at the corner of M57 and M91. That's what it is right now. Festival became the owner of the property in the fall of 2021. And that's what it looked like, and I'm sure you've driven by it and you've seen that it's not the prettiest parcel of land ever made, but it sat vacant for a long time.
Yep.
That corner was vacant a long time. We started cleanup immediately after making the purchase happen. And over the course of early summer, we were out there cutting trees. We were out there with dumpsters and piling up all sorts of garbage that had accumulated on that site over, as you imagine, a lot of years. And at the end of that cleanup, we got ourselves to a point, thank you Leonard for your chainsaw that day, we got ourselves to a point where if you went over there right now, you can actually see from the street what's in that little lot. You can actually see from one end to the other. You can actually see where a beer tent might go on that property. And in fact, that's part of what's happened since that summer cleanup last year. In August, the festival went on for the first time in a couple of years in a full force manner. Tivoli Square is the perfect location. That's why we're naming it after everything related to the festival. Tivoli Square is a perfect place to have that beer tent. For any of you who were able to make it down last year, you know that Tivoli is a big server of beer always. Here in person to share with us. That's Stacy Young, the new president of MCC, my successor. And the point is the Rotary Club takes running the beer tent really seriously. We have a lot of good folks who have a lot of fun running that. I get to run the overall picture of things, but couldn't do it without like 40, 50 other people. But that was just the beginning for the lot. Because over the course of time now, we've established Tivoli Markets, the marketplace for local entrepreneurs who need an opportunity to find new markets for their goods. They've been on that corner now a few times. We plan every third Saturday, I knew it was there, Kristen, between May and October to have a Tivoli Marketplace, at least for now, and hopefully that grows and moves ahead. And there's a lot of other ideas as we think about how can we make this place the showpiece for Greenville downtown, because we think and we know we can. The vision. We've seen the beginnings of Tivoli Square to this point. You can also see, again, just drive by, you can see the land is still in a little rough shape, needing some work. And we're preparing all sorts of things, all types of work to get done on that property. And the board has been working with a blank sheet of paper, and now we have what we see as a vision for the future of that corner. Your input's important. We are so happy you joined us tonight. We need your input, your ideas. What do you think of some of the things you're going to hear about? Think about what you're hearing, and we'd love to answer any questions, give you any more insight we can. And of course, the person to answer all those questions would be Leonard Craddock. So here he is. All yours, Leonard.
All right.
There you go.
All right, well, I'm super excited to take us here from the vision, because this has been a lot, folks. I've lived in this town a mere 27 years. Some of you are laughing, going, that's nothing. But to me, I've always admired that property. I said, something needs to be done with this place. It can be beautiful. So we've got some great plans that we've put together to be able to turn this into a real tourist attraction, some place that everyone from around the state of Michigan is going to want to come to visit and see. We're going to make all sorts of different events happen here. We've got landscaping plans to do. We're going to convert that lot to a nice, lush, green, level parcel with lots of beautiful fencing and buildings and a stage. We just have, our office is going to be there, and we need to be able to achieve that vision, starting with the landscape. We're going to be doing that. That'll be step one. We'll help level some of that lot, get it prepared and ready. We're going to do this in stages. So we're excited to be doing that. We're planning this together, and this is our vision. We want to see it come together to be something perfect. And we got building construction plans, as you'll see here, to be able to have our full-time offices a home for a change for Danish Festival. We don't have to beg, borrow, or steal. Can you imagine how many years? 50 was it? How many years? 58 this year? 58 years this year, and we've never had a home. Talk about an orphan. We finally got a home. I'm excited about that. So we've got building plans to be able to have an office space, but we have everything designed with the community in mind. Everything we do at Danish Festival is with the community in mind. So we've got the festival stage, and that's not it, by the way, but we have a plan for a real nice amphitheater type stage that we can have and host concerts and music and shows and dancing troupes and you name it, year round. This is our goal, to be able to do that. And so we've got plans for that. We've got gathering spaces. We want to make this a place that's inviting, where the local public can come and have lunch, have a picnic, come and visit, look around. This is what we want. We want it to be a gathering spot, okay? And then we've got our infrastructure. We're going to put up beautiful fencing to be able to accentuate the property and give that curb appeal. And of course, part of our building is going to be the entryway. It won't be as fancy as Tivoli Gardens, doggone it. I wish it could. We don't have quite that much money to work with. But we're going to do our best to get it as close to that as we can. The idea, and think about this, imagine pulling up to M57 in Lafayette and seeing something like that. So beautiful, standing there on the corner. That is something everybody from everywhere is going to admire. My vision personally is to be able to make us in a small way like Frankenmuth. Okay? How many people here have been to Frankenmuth? Fun place to go, isn't it? That's what we want. That's the reputation we want here in Greenville. We want to make this a family fun place to go for everybody to enjoy. So this is what we need. We need some help, and you can help. And this is part of why you're here. And we thank you, by the way, for being here. You folks are some of the cream of the crop of Greenville, and that's why we invited you first. You're the first people in town to be able to see this plan firsthand. So feel proud about that. Obviously, a project like this needs assistance and we need help. So this is what we are looking for. We need people that can possibly think of ways to help us financially, obviously. Sometimes the help is in labor. Sometimes the help is in kind, in donations, in things that we need. Anything you can think of, we need help. We can't do it alone. We're a nonprofit organization. We work on very slim margins, but we do need your help. So we have naming and recognition opportunities. So contributors, people who donate certain things will have the opportunity to be able to name and get things done. For example, if you donate $150,000, now this is either in cash or in kind, obviously, so keep that in mind, be creative, but you can get the marquee, the Tivoli marquee named after you, okay? The Danish Festival Welcome Center building. And these are the different donation levels that we can get and be able to put your name on that building or that site, the stage, all the different components, storage building, the landscape work. And these are our basic estimates of what it's gonna take to get it done. Okay, we all know building materials and labor and things are expensive these days, and that's just the reality of the world we live in. So we're hoping that you folks will look at these opportunities for this great property and be able to think of ways that maybe you can contribute or take and make a donation to help us reach our goals. Okay?
A cold glass.
Other ways to contribute, we have bricks here, memorial bricks that you can purchase and have engraved with your company name or a slogan or saying or a dedication, anything respectful and politically correct, but we'll put that on the bricks, okay? There's lots of different ways to donate and contribute. Different brick sizes, they have different costs to the bricks here. 4x8, 8x8, so you can choose different ones. We're going to have a beautiful bricked walkway on the one edge of the property. You can see that in the drawing here, which will be on this end of the property here, the south end. Okay, and then different clip art if you want to do something like that. Those are different options. Okay. Board of Directors. Okay, and I think she just announced all of us for the Board of Directors. So I'm going to open it up quickly for questions. Is there anybody that has any questions about anything you've seen or any creative ways that maybe we're not thinking about how you could donate or things you could do? Any questions on any of that? Yes.
Hi, I'm Susan Hoppo.
Hi, Susan.
I'm here as the secretary of the Danish Cultural Center of Greenville.
Oh, good.
And I'm wondering what your thoughts are for partnering with us, because we've been there for over 100 years.
Yes.
So I'd love
Bob
to
and
have
I-
some conversation.
We were just talking about the opportunity.
Yes.
Good job.
Okay.
Now, the thing of it is, I think it could be a very great reciprocal relationship because,
Yep.
laser pointer.
Yep.
It's here. Right there is where we're talking about building this walkway with the bricks. Right here is where we're talking about having a public gathering space with a flagpole and opening ceremonies, having it be a very nice area. But along there, we've been talking about a history of the Danish Fest, our Danish heritage, and I can see real easily how it connects right to the cultural center,
Yes.
and vice versa.
Yes.
So yes, we want to be able to reach out that way.
Great.
So maybe we can have some conversation.
Maybe we should.
Absolutely. we are very open to conversations like that, and that's what we want, folks. We want to make this not just the Danish, as I said that before. Primarily, that's going to be the main function, obviously, but we want to have food trucks there on a regular basis. We want to have events there. We want to invite local schools, the dance schools, the different churches. Everybody can use this spot. So it's not just Danish. It's going to be someplace that's going to be a spot for everyone to be able to make use of. And that's what we want you to see as our vision. Is something that the primary goal is obviously Danish-based and Danish heritage, and that's what we're about. But the vision is to create a location within our town that draws people to Greenville, that brings good news to Greenville. That's what we want. There's too many towns with too much bad news. And I want to change that. I know this board wants to change that. And we look to you folks to be able to think of ways that you can contribute, sponsor, if you know a company, an individual, a person, anybody we need to talk to, please reach out to any one of us on the board, and we're more than happy to have those one-on-one conversations, and we're open to all of them.
If you know somebody that can give us $10, we'll take that too.
In fact, we're selling raffle
In
tickets
fact, there's
tonight.
raffle tickets right here.
I got $10.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Leonard's point about the major needs, the major areas of need, that's real. That's where we're at. If the festival can have a permanent home with some storage capabilities, with a stage to have as a community asset, the entire setting on that corner can be transformed. Takes a few bucks to make that happen, but that is where we'd like to take things. Other questions?
Like Winston Churchill said, to live is what you get, but life is what you give. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for all the help we can get, and we hope you guys take that with the right grain of salt and think of ways that maybe we can partner together. You know, we realize that we're just showing you all of this for the first time, but this is something that's going to be a grand project when we get it done. And we want to do it first class, do it the right way.
Will the city have anything to do with any of the park at all?
It depends. The city's here, that we have a representative that meets with our board on a regular basis. We want to partner with everyone. So that's the main thing. Obviously, it's our property, and we're trying to guide it in the direction for Danish Festival and things we do. But as I said before, we're open to those conversations. So if there's events and opportunities to partner with the city, heck yeah, we'd like to talk about that. Yeah, you better believe it.
I mean, like, so if there's an event, a dance studio has a dance there, is it up to the committee to dump the trash, clean the tables, things like that,
Those-
or city?
The operational procedures, we're not quite there yet.
Okay.
But it could very well be that users clean up. It could very well be.
Right.
The city has a concern about the look of the property, and I think what we have proposed and where we're at with them, there's no problem with that. I said that out loud. But we think that. But in terms of usage by other groups, yeah, we'd like to make this, again, a community asset.
100%. 100%. We want everyone to
Will there
feel.
be a fee?
Probably.
There is an opportunity.
There
Yes,
will be
we
an
will.
opportunity.
We will do some rental options.
we will.
And so folks could have a wedding there. They could
Right.
hold a
Have
class
your family-
reunion.
have a
They
family
could have a
reunion.
family reunion there. They could do all sorts of things. But that's part of what we want to be able to broadcast through the community, so people feel, the locals here feel and realize, hey, I've got a place that's mine.
That's gonna look really
And it's
nice.
gonna look good. And yeah, one weekend in a year, it's gonna be strictly a beer tent. We're gonna have a lot of fun and a lot of great music. I say that as the entertainment director, but we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have a great time throughout the year. And that's it. You know, we're gonna turn that lot into something that's been an eyesore for so many years to something that's gonna be a beautiful attraction. And I promise you, people will drive and come to Greenville to see it. You know, and we need lumber, we need labor, we need all of it. We need all the help we can get. So, yes,
What's your timeline?
Well-
What's your timeline?
the sooner the better. But being new at this, we're working on it. The first process is going to be probably the landscaping, obviously. What we'd like to do is going to remove, and we're already working in that direction now, to remove some of the trees and kind of get the land more leveled out and more user friendly. We have to install electricity and all the things necessary to support the buildings and the process, you know. And then I would probably tell you the next thing is going to be the stage, would be the very next thing, because we're timing this throughout the year. Obviously, we've got a window of opportunity through the summer and fall that we can get some work done. Everything truly depends on the funds. You know, if we had all the money that we needed, we could probably get started next week. But we're working on that, and that's kind of why you're here. You know, we all just know that we need help, and if everybody can contribute even a little, whatever you can, we appreciate it. You know,
I will tell you one thing where you can contribute even more, and that would be to tell your friends, tell your family, your neighbors. It's the old cliche of a commercial. Get your neighbors, tell your friends, everyone. But that's what it's going to take, and that's who it's for. Everybody in our community. So we do need that assistance. Help us communicate the ideas. Help us share what the goals what will be, and how we see this in a couple of years. Dave, you know, landscape, yeah, we need that. We need electric, we need utilities. We need a stage, we need to build a building. So as those move along, a couple, 3 years from now, that might look really different.
and some of that will some of that will help perpetuate the other. As we get a stage in place, as we get some buildings in place, now we can rent things. We can do more revenue generating things. And believe me, we've been brainstorming constantly for all of the different revenue opportunities that we can think of that would be appropriate, family friendly, you know, those type of things that we can do to generate that kind of cash flow.
I've heard of a group that was involved with Danish Festival a long time ago. Weren't they the strolling Danish minstrels?
Yeah, I heard about these
I
guys.
think
The
we could bring them
Danish
back.
minstrels, maybe. Yeah.
What?
Huh? What?
What were you saying?
I
We're
said,
gonna
we heard
bring
of a
back-
group that maybe we should bring back, the strolling Danish
Well,
minstrels.
Back in the years when the festival started, there was lots of went on between 64 and 70 or so. And I was part of the original group of the Showing Minstrels. But what it was back then was there was a community effort to be engaged in the Danish festival. And regardless of what, this happened to be from the city club, where we're sitting in right now, this was the city club. And they sponsored a group called the Danish Showing Minstrels, and I was the first bass in that group. But for 10 years, we participated in entertainment downtown, rode in the parade, it was all promotional, we all wore Danish garb, it was all about the Danish festival. It was very important to us as community members to be involved in that. But that kind of thing, you need to replant those seeds and include, like what you've been saying tonight, all of the different groups in the area that are trying to do that. Please engage all of them to be part of that because it's so important.
Absolutely.
It really makes it be a community effort, not just a few people saying, hey, what a great idea.
Yep.
It's a community effort.
Exactly. I'm sorry, you had a question too.
How does this affect the place where you have the Rotary concerts now on the
Oh,
water?
down on the river?
How will that affect? Like, will you just move that to
No,
the corner?
that won't
or is
impact
it
that.
smaller? Is it gonna be a smaller amount of people that are available
Oh.
to sit here?
Oh, and the new lot?
Yeah.
That lot is twice as big as where we used
So
to
you have
have.
to put a building, right? So once you
It's-
put the building.
Well, the buildings as you see, and I know this is small here, but the buildings on this side are gonna be more rectangular in shape. Thank you. They're gonna be more rectangular in shape, and, the idea, where is the middle one? Oh, in the middle, okay. So they're gonna be more rectangular here, and the stage is gonna be 16 by 24, is it?
Yep.
16 by 24 is the stage. So it'll have the versatility to be able to do a lot of different things. We estimate if we did say a concert in the park type of thing where people could bring their launches, this is kind of what one of our visions are, to be able to have seating right here where people can come and spread out their lawn chairs and you know, bring Coke, have a picnic and watch the music. Probably could fit 250 to 300 people there. So actually more than you can get at the other location.
But
Yes.
do not think that the Rotary is moving their
No,
festivals.
no.
No, that'll still be at the place on the river every Thursday.
Right.
And what about the parking lots? I'm sure you've had thoughts
The what?
about parking.
Yes.
Parking for
Yep.
250 people. So
Right.
what have you thought about?
Great question. So parking, as you know, a lot of people forget all the parking behind the post office, Wesco, that's all public parking back in there. And down that alleyway, that's all public parking and behind. Not to mention some of the parking on the street as well, right? So even with say a couple hundred people coming to a small concert, which say we bring I hire some local bands or out of state bands to come in and perform, you know, we're probably never gonna see a giant, not like a big concert venue where you're gonna have parking and traffic issues. We don't envision that. We don't see any room to.
Unless there's a resurgence of the Danish culture.
And then, yeah.
So that could do it.
Yeah, that could
If
do
the
it.
Danish
That would bring
culture
them back.
takes fire again, who knows, I'll bet.
What, you know what, Maureen, with parking, last year was a good first test run for
Yep,
beer tent at
yep,
that location.
exactly.
And each night, well, the first night we had 500, second night we had over 800 people show. We gotta walk a couple blocks,
And it wasn't too bad.
and it wasn't bad. It wasn't, we heard zero complaints.
Right, and Main Street was blocked off, so imagine if that was
Yeah.
open, it'd be better,
That
yes.
was, yeah.
This is related to that though, the parking and what are you planning for, handicap accessible parking? Because when you
Yes.
say people can walk for blocks, they
The
can't.
handicap accessible spots are right adjacent to our site.
Right,
They're
adjacent.
right there.
Yep.
There's
So
like,
they're on your property?
Yes,
No,
actually,
they're-
well,
they're not on the
there's an
property.
entry
Okay,
right
so-
here that has a handicap accessible walkway to that sidewalk right there. So someone could park back in here and they don't have far to go at all.
Like
Show us
6 of
what
them.
those buildings all are like. What's on the
Yes.
left? Is that Kemp or is
Yeah.
that?
Here, let me
Kemp. That's
hit
the
mine
Kemp
out.
building.
Yeah.
The building, or the Kemp building is the last building presently there. Then there's the sidewalk, our
Yep.
property.
Yep,
From Kemp is our direct neighbor.
yes, that's Kemp's, right.
Yeah, then just-
So if you're talking north to
Kemp is
south,
to the
that's the
north.
north end of the lot, the east end of the lot, the west end, and the south.
Yeah.
So that faces
What
Lafayette.
are the buildings right in front there?
The front buildings will be our offices.
That's only one building.
Okay.
That's just a
And
building.
that's a single building, just,
I said the back ones.
the back one is going here, and that's gonna be our storage. So at this point in time, we're renting storage, so we're kind of having things scattered, which will make it much more convenient for us to have everything we need right on site and easily accessible. And so we'll have that building there for storage and so forth, and then the stage here for the performers with state-of-the-art sound system and lighting and that kind of thing to them, permanent stuff that we have available. Yes?
How will you use this in the winter?
So in the winter, we
Not as often.
Not as often, right? Not as often, and then that's the key is we just would have to come up with different events. Kristen was really good with some winter ideas or some late fall ideas that we were going to do. We had craft shows planned right up until late October for Halloween and stuff like that. And then at one point we thought about a possible location to sell Christmas trees, where we could sell Christmas trees and let people purchase some trees there.
So would it be a location that, because you've already thought about the parking, would it be a location where in the open space you could put a skating rink?
It's
So-
a
That's a new one.
thought.
It's a thought.
The question we would have is if we make this more grassy area, which is what we're trying to do, it would have to be. I love the idea of a skating rink, but don't get me wrong. We just have to figure a way to do it as a temporary and take it and not ruin the
Hey,
sod.
I used to build one in my backyard every year.
So there you go. So, but those are the kind of things we're open to. You bet. We'd love to have that.
That could be a great idea.
Be a nice winter skating spot for for everyone. And again, that's what we want to hear. These are ideas that we need and we need to hear. There's just so much to do. Any other questions? I love it. Please keep them coming because that's what we want. That's why you're here. We love your ideas and thoughts.
It just crossed my mind that one of the most exciting things that has happened recently is that Aldi and Starbucks started breaking ground, and so people start talking. So the minute you start doing something that's visible, you're going to get a lot of excitement.
You couldn't be more correct. So that's why we thought, Paul, that let's start leveling the property. Let's do some landscape work, and that's very visible.
Right, and that's what we want to do is get the conversations going. Yes.
I know we've kind of talked before too, but with these plans, there is a possibility, in the future, you have that little tree lighting ceremony downtown.
Yes.
There's a possibility if it's designed right, you could have a giant tree there and have all the little trees downtown and have this giant tree at your
Christmas
focal
location.
point.
Absolutely.
As downtown.
Put up a giant Christmas tree and have a place where people
that draws.
yeah, where people can come and see it and celebrate Christmas. That's what we're talking about. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but aren't you all tired of the bad news from everywhere? That's what we want to change, and this can get that started. This can really make Greenville a positive talking point across the state.
So I would encourage you to talk with the Danish Cultural Center, who are the experts in Danish culture.
Thank you. And that's what we want to do.
We have your phone number?
Of course you do.
I know.
Yes.
As a cautionary thing, you might want to talk to the library because we put in the bricks when that was built.
Yes.
The names and all that, and it went great and it looked beautiful, and then it all fell apart.
Yeah.
Oh.
We had to take it all out, and
Really?
replace it, and come up with a whole new thing at quite
Wasn't
an
it
expense.
installed correctly?
So you might just check with them and see
Okay.
if there's a new way of doing it, or.
Right. Yeah, that's a good
Just
thought.
been done
That's
wrong.
the thing is because
Don't
we
know.
look at this with the design, and part of it is maintenance. Part of the cost that we estimate is we got to take care of it. We want to keep it up year after year, and we don't want to see it turn to something nice, then turn to a negative at some point in the future.
Right.
So part of our budget is going to be set obviously for maintenance and care. But we need to get started, and we believe that once we get going and have it up and operational, that it will support itself, and we'll be able to do that very easily. To continue to, as we've always done for 58 years, folks, we keep trying to make Danish Festival outdo the prior year. And we've done that, you can see it. We had helicopter rides last year, people loved it. We had all kinds of things. We are constantly on the lookout. How do we make this better? How do we make it more exciting? This is one way we're gonna be able to achieve that. So again, we're glad you're here. Don't stop the questions by any means. If anybody's got any other questions, comments, ideas, we would certainly appreciate it. And if you'd like a copy of this presentation, electronically, we videotaped this today. If you'd like a copy of it, just reach out to Kristen, and she'll be more than happy to share it with you. If you need to present this idea to your board, maybe, or different organizations or businesses, please do that. If you need me to come and beg, I'll be there. Just tell me when.
And if you'd rather have me come back,
Yes, Bob or I, either one, either one. So we just appreciate y'all being here. We'll hope you eat some more food and have some drinks, and please feel free to reach out to any of us with any questions. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes.